Okay, very good evening to one and all who is watching. This stream was pretty just impromptu. I just got home and I was like, I need to research the Alliance raids. Despite the fact that I've done it already, I need to look it over all again before 6.3. And you know what? I didn't want to do it on my own. So I said, you know what? I may as well stream it and also review my most recent video as well. So let me just get this set up here, and I think I'll lower the music because it is a bit loud. There we go. And I hope everybody's having an amazing night. NPC 12, or I think I'm going to start calling you MPIC 12. Hope you're having a good evening. Okay, now in terms of starting off, I think we're going to start off just by reviewing the cutscenes that we have reviewed already in terms of leading up to the Alliance raid. Then I'll do a quick run of the Alliance raid, and then we'll look at the cutscenes after, and we'll just review everything as we go as well. Just try and piece together what is there, and it kind of refreshes our memory as well. Gets us in the mood for 6.3. when we hopefully learn a bit more about this, because if they put us on another weird kind of cliffhanger like they did with 6.1 and then we have to wait until 6.5, I'm not going to be very happy. Good afternoon, Frazzle. I hope you're having a good day. A very good evening from the Republic of Ireland. Okay, let's see here. Alright, so we'll review the Unending Journey first. Primarily in regards to the starting cutscene, which should be on the Chronicle of a New Era, Myths of the Realm. Okay. I don't think we need to watch everything with Kryl or anything else. I think we need to skip to where we meet the very suspicious Derek. I think it's this one. Okay, let's start this one. Oh, there was no cutscene at all, was there? Okay, I skipped ahead, but it doesn't really matter. He's just as suspicious as he always is. Then we get introduced to Omphalos. I'm still at awe about this area. I've visited this area a number of times, primarily just to look at the view in the distance, because we don't really have another view like that. I mean, 1.0 had views like that. 2.0 and beyond doesn't have views like that to see into the far beyond like that. The Omphalos. Now, just right off the bat, Derek is probably one of the most suspicious NPC characters I've ever come across in FF14. Because instantly right away, the moment I met him, you're like, this guy is far too suspicious. He's way too calm about things. He's an Eorzean, or I think he's an Eorzean, isn't he? We come across the actual deities, the 12. I'm in shock, you're in shock. Graha is like, what the heck is going on? And Derek's like, oh, interesting. Interesting. Either he's just a very casual person and nothing phases him, or he's not who he appears to be, and he's definitely not, because it all revolves around that frickin' monkey of his, the Oppo Woppo. So let's quickly see what he has to say. Alright, we've gotten our view of everything. I bid you welcome to the navel of the Phantom Realm, the Omphalos. You still suspect our auspices? I don't blame you, to be perfectly honest. Everything they've done so far has been far too suspicious. And the story has been going out of its way to try and say, oh, you need to trust them. I do not need to trust them, despite the way you're spelling out this narrative for me. I do not trust any of these people as far as I could throw them. Okay, so Realm of the Gods. I think this is where they show up for the first time with their idle threats. Well, not idle threats, really. We know they're idle threats now, but they threatened our very existence, insulted our mother, and did all sorts of things. For this, we will require more manpower and supplies, among other things. Okay, so Graha's like, interesting. I think we're going to accept this. It's interesting that they show up right after this, so he's on the verge of accepting all this. And then they show up, so he's like, he's probably thinking about it right now, but he's actually in a link pearl right now talking to the other members, just going, you can come out now. And then, before they can run off, hold, mortals. I really wish they voiced over this. They need to do more voiceover when it comes to the Alliance raids, because their story hands out as much as the main scenario. They really should start giving these things voiceovers, because they already have voice actors for them. The fights have voice actors, so they should really bring that outside as well. It would make them all the more interesting. Alright, here comes Baragot and Rager, Zema and Nalthal. Boom! Surprise! You profane this sacred realm with your very presence, and must answer for your irreverence. Behold us in all our glory, for we are the 12. Which I still do not believe in the bloody slightest. They're far too I mean, look at their figures. I mean, granted, yeah, they're supposed to be gods, sure. This guy is supposed to be, well, I'm assuming inspired by Zeus, although Hephaestus would probably be a more suitable one, but neither here nor there. I am Baragot, the builder. Many people, Frazzle, are of the opinion that Derek is actually Altic. I'll get into his minion and the other minions in a minute. Let there be no doubt, we are no simulator or summon primal yada yada yada. Nay, we 12 are divinities true. And in Hydaelyn's absence, we are the star's rightful rulers, its will. See, if they were anything like the 12, Hydaelyn would have actually told us about them, in my opinion. And we have determined that you, champion of Hydaelyn, pose a threat to our ascension, yada yada yada. I can't take them seriously because I know what happened, and if the other 4 or 5 rather, if the other 5 that show up later start making these idle threats again in order for us to fight them, I'm just going to roll my eyes. I said this right after these things launched. If they try to actually do this again, I'm going to roll my eyes. See, they do all this idle boasting, just like, we can destroy you, you're a gnat, we can flick you away, yada yada yada. True, like, cocky-ass Olympian gods, more like, yeah. So, I mean, they pulled that off well. So, their acting skills could use a bit more refinement. This would have had much more impact, you know that, if it was fully voiced. If they actually had the voice actors do all this, instead of this text, this would have had so much more impact. Show us the spirit of mankind. Show us your, yeah. If man will remain the master of his own destiny, then assemble your comrades and come. Come and prove your worthiness. Yeah, we have no reason to. What would they have done if we'd have said, you know what, no, we have no reason to, so we're just going to walk away? It's patch 6.1. I'm on vacation. Thank you very much. I have no interest in fighting a deity or a would-be deity or a fake deity or whatever the hell they are. And I just walk away, go back to my island. Thank you very much. I mean, everybody's just like, I have no idea what's going on. He's just like, yeah, your acting skills could be better, Baragot. 7 hells. I mean, look at the way he says it. He's just like, 7 hells. They weren't here when I got here. It's just like, it's like they plucked the person out of the crowd, put them on stage and said, say these lines for me, will you? I mean, they spelled out the story a bit too obvious, for lack of a better word. I mean, the Nier one kept us guessing, despite the fact that we knew that who 2P was, and people who played it before. Even I didn't play the Nier games, and even I knew that something was wrong. But they played the storytelling a lot better with the Nier raids. And challenge Wyrm to try. Alright, let's skip this because we don't need to do this anymore. Now, there is something at the end of this, isn't there? It's right after this cutscene, if I recall. Oh no, never mind. Oh, this is where we come back. Okay, so I think we should actually go in now because I just want to hear their voices again, and I just want to see the raid one last time before tomorrow. Before everything hopefully gets better, because for how grandiose these raids are trying to be, I mean, they have a lot of flair, but they don't really deliver. So this is only going to be a very quick run from me just to go through this raid. But I really quickly want to go over the text of this, so while we wait on that. Okay. Oh, that was quick. Okay. Guess I can't go through the text then. We'll go over the text after it's done. Okay. I am Derek, the one who discovered the Phantom Realm. My apologies for making you search for me. Curious about this creature? Yeah, I was. I found him injured during one of my journeys and tended to him. Since then, he has taken to following me around. He's inquisitive, but otherwise harmless. So pray pay him no mind. He's just like, damn it, he's interested in the Oppo. Just, how do I do this? Let's just steer him off the discussion. Just pay him no mind, okay? He may or may not be the actual incarnation of the 12. Just don't pay attention. Oh, somebody jumped out of the queue. Have you noticed that ever since the Moogle stones started, people have been farming the same alliance raids? So a lot of people have been chancing it as well by doing the alliance raid roulette in order to try and get the alliance raid they want. And whenever it's something that's not farmable for Moogle stones, a load of people leave. It's happened to me multiple times. I think the last time was I got Rabanastre, if I recall correctly. The moment we loaded in, multiple people left. And then when people loaded in after, they left. And then everybody else started leaving afterwards, and then the whole raid fell apart. It frankly pissed me off. They should really look at actually including far more raids in these sort of things, because people are automatically going to go for the meta. Or tie the Mogul Stones to the Alliance Raid Roulette itself. If they offered rewards that way, people would do a lot more roulettes. So if it was a guarantee that you're going to do a roulette, and you get a different raid, but you're going to get Mogul Stones anyway from the roulette, all the better. Alright, forming party here. Alright, let's go back to the texture. Okay, so I'll show you the entrance. He walks on the water at this point. Impressive, isn't it? When the gate manifested, so did this magic, allowing one to just walk upon water. It's perfectly safe. I think that's the point where I was very suspicious, that he found the gate, only he did, and he sawed us out. I mean, fair enough. I mean, there was other parties who could have actually sawed out. There was a party literally down the road at St. Connacht's Find that he could have actually just said, you know what, can you look into it? Although rather, St. Connacht's Find actually did reach out to us, so they were he was being clever at that point. That makes a bit too much sense, yeah. I try not to make too much sense when it comes to this because I'll start to sound like the subreddit at that point. When the subreddit decides it wants to make sense. This queue is going to say, oh wait. So, full healers, tanks, okay. What I want to discuss as well is a central point, in my opinion, is Lake Silvertear. It's no coincidence that the Omphalos, I think that's how you pronounce it, the Omphalos, or Omphalos, is very close to where Lake Silvertear is. Its proximity can't be understated. I mean, the Allegan Empires, wherever their capital city was, they have the capital city. So that was very close to where Lake Silvertear was as well. They didn't tap Lake Silvertear, as far as we're aware, for its vast energies, whatever those energies are. And these so-called 12 are hanging out nearby. Although they do have other locations in other places. But the Omphalos is the main one, apparently, that links the others. But I think Lake Silvertear is going to play a pivotal role in what's coming up, because the lake has been ignored for far too long. The lake is assumed, well, it was assumed, that the lake was going to play a pivotal role in the story of 1.0, as was Midgardsormr, who was inside the lake. And that naturally got scrapped when 1.0 was scrapped, and it was brought into 2.0 as the catalyst of such and such. Well, it was the catalyst for the opening of 1.0 anyway, and it was largely ignored after that with 2.0 and beyond. But the lake, I feel, is going to be brought up in this upcoming storyline because its proximity just can't be understated. We know Midgardsormr is inactive right now. His body is still in the lake or over the lake. But it can't be understated. I have a feeling that this raid is going to address it, if not the one in 6.5. So it might tie into something important, or it might not. But the fact that the new Eureka is actually nearby as well is no coincidence, in my opinion. I think something will be discovered in Eureka as well, as we dive deeper, 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 deeper. Maybe we discover that the Allegans actually did have some sort of plan for Lake Silvertear. In the Answers cinematic, the one where numerous primals rush out, that was the 1.0 cinematic. So as soon as the ship crashed into what I'm assuming is a large crystallized aether, it exploded, which is what you see engulf Midgardsormr, and then the primals rush out. But we can't really think about that story anymore because technically, or they want to have you thinking, or have you believing rather, that 1.0 was a different game entirely. So they scrapped a lot of the storylines for 1.0 and cannibalized them for 2.0. What do you think of the mystery that causes Auspicious God-like ascension? I think it might relate to the gods since they are not primals. Auspicious God-like ascension. I need to look that up again. Auspicious God-like ascension. Yeah. The auspices are... they're an interesting little thing, aren't they? That was largely skipped over. I don't like the fact that it was like... it panned out over the entirety of Stormblood. I agree, but... they left a lot of things unsaid now, to be honest. But the auspices are an interesting thing, that creatures that just grow to a certain age and then achieve a kind of enlightenment and pseudo-immortality. That's kind of what these guys are, I agree. These guys could literally be... they could have been mortals, like average mortals. And then they achieved some sort of ascension, similar to how the other auspices did. So they could have been just average mortals, some of the first peoples that ever inhabited Eorzea. They could have been just 12 travelers, 12 heads of tribes that were in this area. Although it's interesting to look at them, because they're all, as far as I can see, when you look at them, they're all Hyur, or they're all Hyur-like. Like, none of them have pointy ears, none of them have pale complexions or a flat nose. They're all Hyur-like, which is interesting. I mean, Hyur are... in most MMO, or in most fantasy genres, the elves, or Elezen and all, are the oldest species. But the Hyur are one of the oldest, if not the oldest, species on Aetheris. Case in point, the Amarotians were Hyur-like. They didn't have any defining features. Aside from their size, they're just scaled up Hyur, essentially. So when they're scaled down, they look the way they did. So, there's two possibilities. If they were actually, if we go with the Auspice theory, they could have been average mortal Hyurs that inhabited the 12 long before everybody else and then ascended and then left the land to everybody else. Or two, they are survivors or some sort of survivors of the ancient civilization that they themselves then ascended later on or found a way to ascend. It's actually starting to sound like the plot from Stargate Atlantis or something. Okay, alright, here we go. Very good evening. Now, I'll try and get this over as soon as possible. I want to try and liven it up as much as I can because I know for a fact that there's nothing more boring than watching somebody else play an MMORPG. You don't watch them for the gameplay.
So, you are resolved to face me.
Why weren't these voices in the story? I've said it already, but it annoys me. It really does. They just wanted to save money, and I don't like it. These stories are just as important as the main story. Alright. Let me try to not make everybody die.
Scatter!
Scatter. Nope. I mean, listen to his voice.
Bend the knee.
Imagine if he did all that dialogue with that voice. It would have been so good.
Tremble before my divinity.
It's this way, isn't it? Ah, I was dipped. Never mind.
Behold the virtuosity of the builder.
I haven't done this fight in a while now, to be perfectly honest. This part is easy.
Oh, hammer divine.
The design of this raid is probably one of the nicest I've ever seen. I mean, you look around, it's just a giant arena. It looks like the top of Olympus, and you have Olympus up there. The near raids are definitely at the top for me because that just made it look like a gigantic area that was so detailed. Okay, hammer is there. Oh, he's hitting this. Yeah. Okay. We have barbecue.
Searing right. Fight my foe.
Trying to pay attention to the chat and talk at the same time. That's not good. factory, yeah, the factory was such a good raid. When you're entering it, it just looks gigantic, and then it's just so elaborate on the inside. It's just so different than anything else we've seen. Like, even the Allegan facilities didn't even look that good. Oh, I was on the edge of it.
Tis too late to beg mercy.
It's too late to beg mercy, is it? All out of mercy. Oh yeah, these guys. Here, which one of these moving past?
Bend the knee.
And back to reality. I mean, you look at this fight in general. There's a lot of show, a lot of bravado, but we don't know what's real and what's not. Granted, he's a powerful foe, but all this around us, is this real or is this just an illusion? So, are they really as strong as we think they are? Because all this just disappears rather easily. And then we're back to this. I mean, it's an amazing realm, I will admit. That you should have bested the divinity. I couldn't have asked for better help. Yeah, sure you couldn't. You baited us in here.
The builder has been made to yield.
I love his voice. And this has to be one of the more interesting arenas coming up. The hand arena. I haven't seen an arena that good since turn 5 in hand.
Provided my servant with some sport.
I'm really tired of circles and squares and rectangles. I want organic looking battlefields again. It's entirely possible. That's a lot of people are going on the theory that they do know creation magic. And one thing I have noted about creation magic, when you see it actually being actioned in Elpis, when they create something, there's usually a flash of lightning when they create it, which is also what happens in here. When they create something or they destroy something, flash of lightning, but they are lightning elemented after all, so. Sirius Arena was so nice, I enjoyed that. And Leviathan. Remember Leviathan? It was probably one of the first square arenas we got. But still, it was unique enough. I love the Egyptian influence in Rhalgr's Emissary. Very Horus-like. Path is no longer sealed. So the gods have minions at our beck and call. We must proceed with care. Derek, you're not doing anything and you're already annoying me. It's like having a backseat driver, just like, oh, that was a great fight, keep going.
Ahead stands a statue I have fashioned for our contest.
Rhalgr isn't known as the goddess of destruction without reason. Now look at all this, like, Derek follows us in, granted. But he's giving us pep talks throughout the entire thing, just like, you're gonna be fine, these are deities, he's not called the god of destruction for nothing. How the hell do you know all this? I mean, granted you know the legends, but you don't know who the hell this guy is. We don't even know it's Rhalgr. He's pretending to be Rhalgr, granted.
Come, show me the strength of that. Upon the ground you shall crawl.
Yeah, like everybody else, I'm of the opinion that Derek is Altic. And I think he's going to show himself. Probably not in 6.3, maybe 6.5. Alright, he's punching the... yeah, okay. He's a bored tour guide. Every tour guide is bored out of their mind. I've yet to meet a single tour guide who's passionate about what they do. That's why I hate getting tours. Because the tour guide is usually like reading from a script and has no passion about what they're saying. I think the only tour guides I've actually enjoyed speaking to are the ones in museums. Because at least then the museum tour guide has some sort of passion about what they're saying. It is amazing how much they look alike, isn't it? I mean, granted, Ramu definitely has the advantage on the beard and the hair. But I won't be surprised if Ramu was directly inspired by the Legends of Rhalgr. His element and his look, it can't be understated why they look alike. And then when you look at him further on in Shadowbringers, he looks much more like Rhalgr in that one, doesn't he? Alright, where are we here? Okay. Oh, somebody got punched. Sufa, where are you? Here you are. But as I said, I love this arena because it's just not a circle. We're literally standing on a hand, which is cool, and there's gaps in it. So it's an actual organic arena. I don't know why they insist on going with circles all the time. When they can make arenas like this, I don't see why they bother. More legs. Yeah, he's a bit too much Ixion in that one. That's the thing as well. I always found that interesting, the fact that he was inspired by Ixion and Ramu. But not everybody faces Ixion. So people would be going, like, if you've never faced the Fate Ixion before, you'd be like, wait, why the hell does he look like a horse? Oh no.
Bask in my blinding resplendence.
Nah, let's not.
Most impressive.
Children of man.
And when he says children of man, he
Come,
means
mortals.
mortal kind, like
Enter
she
my
does.
realm, if you dare.
If you dare. I really like how Azuma turned out. I really wish we could have heard her a lot more. Her voice actor is lovely, but the overall character model design, especially the face, is very beautiful in my opinion. That mortal should set foot in our divine realm. Come, we shall see whether you are fit to remain. Yeah, sure. The Guardians. Oh, I wasn't supposed to do that. Shit! Okay. Alright, they covered for me. Okay. That was my fault. I really shouldn't have done that. I wasn't really thinking about it. I thought I was a tank again. Oh god. God, they're on top of each other. I think rare novelty battlegrounds should be used sparingly. It's a fair point as well, because we might just grow out of the novelty, but baiting us with novelties and little things like that should remain in the realm of mobile games, in my opinion. Square Enix is already doing too many fishy things at the moment that we're not happy with. I'm still shocked that FF14 is still the way it is at the moment. With what Square Enix is actually doing at the moment. I think it shows how much clout Yoshi P actually has. That FF14 is able to just weather through all of these disasters that Square Enix is coming up with. I really like this realm as well. You have the desert, you have the ruins inside. It makes me wonder if we've teleported actually across the world at this point. So Umphalos is a gateway to their realms, but their realms could be in different parts of the world.
Scoured by the light of the sun.
So we could be over Thanalan, for example, right now, or just hidden away in the deserts far outside Thanalan.
Crimson fan, in fire woven.
Fire woven.
In your wake leave naught uncleansed.
She has much better lines in my opinion than the others. Although I do like Now Thou. He kind of sounds like he's having an argument between the two of them. Although from a design aspect, I don't really get why the two of them choose to merge into one. Would you like to be the ass? I mean, one of them has to be on top, one of them has to be on the bottom. Only one of them is talking at a time. I mean, I get it from a symbolism perspective that you have two gods merged into one.
Is it just a
but
mirage?
making it quite literal was
Or
a bit
something
weird,
more?
in my opinion. Oh yeah. Put it over here. Oh, somebody's burned. Yoshi P's back is tired from holding up Square Enix all these years.
Explosive.
I've noticed it, to be honest. The guy has aged like 20 years in the game. He is putting in so much work. I can't even describe. But you can show it in his age. I remember when I met him in 2014 at FanFest. He looked so young. And then as the years just go on, the like next 3 years when you see him at Frankfurt, he aged so much. The guy is working so hard. And he's doing it for us, which I love.
I'm quite warmed to you.
It doesn't change the fact that the guy needs to take a break. He's helming 2 projects at the moment. Well, 16 is pretty much done now, but still, you helm 2 projects like that. That's impressive. Now Thal could have a severe case of conjoined twins. True. Takes a lot of magic in order to split them, and they only split for like 1 attack, and then they merge back together. They really like that arrangement, I think. I think I want to go over here. Yep.
Raging flames dance upon the wind.
I am kind of saddened though that the theory about Azema didn't pan out. Although it's still early days, because a lot of us still are of the opinion that she was inspired by the legends of Azem back in the ancient civilization. Primarily because of her name. And I think there was a couple of other things that allowed us to actually think that as well. But I still kind of hope they actually pan out. She does have some similar traits to Vanna. Not least of which is the fans.
This will burn.
Okay, run over. Oh no. Oh no.
A gift of flame for our children.
Although I do like it still that their legend is still rooted in Eorzea itself. It's not outside. So the 12 are pretty much little, if anything, is known about the 12 to the people outside of Eorzea. Only from what people have told them. Because people bring it up in conversation every 10 seconds. Oh, thank the 12. And people are like, who's the hell's the 12? Thank the Kami, you weirdo. Oh. And Azema is down. Yeah, the Azema plot is getting muddled. It's not the only plot to get muddled, now to be perfectly honest. So many plots have been skipped over, or they want us to forget about them. That could be one of them. Like, think about this, for example. We're heading into 6.3 right now. The primary storyline elements, or one of the primary storyline elements of 6.0, which is Aether and Dynamis, haven't been mentioned since. We haven't heard a word about Dynamis aside from just little bits of conversation. It just seems to have been forgotten. It's disappeared. And that annoys me. They made such a point of making it such a focal point of the entire opening of Endwalker, and now it's... Oh yeah, it's just Dynamis. I mean, yeah. Although it is early days, Endwalker is not over.
To our might.
Bear witness to our might. This is outside, yeah. Oh no, it's inside. Okay.
But will you be able to comprehend it?
And now he's doing his thing. I mean, I love his character. I like his design. But his design makes me think that it was directly inspired by our faith and our legends rather than vice versa. Because you would expect if they actually are the 12, that our legends should have been inspired by them rather than vice versa. And he just looks like he was inspired by our legends of merging the two together, which is something Ul'dah themselves did. They merged the gods as one in their faith. That's actually true. Yeah, I forgot about Omicron because it was greatly expanded. I love that storyline. The Omicron storyline is the best Beast Tribe story, or tribal, sorry, that I've seen. That's actually true as well. The 7th, the memory loss of the Calamity, and then everybody just snaps. They remember us right at the end. Everything just clears up, and we're like, okay, what caused that to happen? Oh, we're going this way. But in the early days, they had to skip over so much. I mean, they had to scrap every idea that they were planning to build with 1.0 and put it into 2.0. Like, for example, Dalamud was supposed to be, in 1.0 and beyond, Dalamud was supposed to be the final raid. So years down the line, as 1.0 was developed, you would have gone up to Dalamud and fought some sort of evil.
The flames of the abyss. And
then once they cancelled it, they said, right, we need a catalyst to usher in our new game 2.0. Let's blow up Dalamud. That's essentially what they did. They just needed a catalyst and Dalamud just happened to be there. So they blew it up. And now it's a prison for an Elder Primal.
Bitterest suffering awaits.
Oh, I'm doing this wrong. I'm doing this so wrong. Although I haven't been hit. Oh, this is the way. This is the way. This is the way. This is the way. Do you know the way? Do you know the way? I'd really hate to do this. Actually, I did this as a black mage once, and I hate it.
From ashes you came, to ashes you will return.
Not really doing anything in this fight, you know? Oh, I'm in the wrong place. I should really pay attention. Okay. We're coming up to the fun part.
Will you weather my trial?
He's dying already. Like, he's getting very close. Is he usually this low before he does his switcheroo? Or does he skip it? We haven't done it yet.
We have only just begun.
Or he does it after this. Do you think Allah got Ascian help with Dalamud? Oh, Allah got Ascian help with Dalamud, given how both moons were used to seal the Great Planet. That's actually very true. He has a Black Mage God patron and he's making our lives live in healthy. Alright, do you think Allah got Ascian help with Dalamud, given how both moons were used to seal the Great Primal? I'm not really certain, and I'd like to not fully elaborate on it because I actually have a different video planned going into this, so I've been researching the subject.
Still you defy our divine authority.
The Allegans had, or not the Allegans, yeah, not the Allegans, sorry. The Ascians had a great deal of influence over the development of the Allegan Empire. Emmett Selk influenced events just like he did with the formation of the Garlean Empire.
Your souls.
If you're going to ask me whether or not they had a hand in it, in order to try and usher in a calamity, which is what they wanted in the first place, I'd say probably yes. Maybe they inspired the idea. Because Xande was pretty mad and, well, he was pretty insane at the end anyway. So, if you're going to ask me, I'd say yes. They definitely kind of influenced events. It's me. Shield. Alright, here's where things can go pear-shaped. Alright, let's see. Scale's too heavy. Alright, stay. 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 Stop moving. Stop moving. Have you ever had one person move at the end and it just goes...
The moment
I've seen it happen once.
is come.
I love this sequence. The fact that he just absorbs the scale, brings it back into himself, and then once he absorbs the scale, he splits into two. Such a lovely thing. I love this. And then they have... I don't know what that is, to be honest. Boom. Nice roasted duck.
Well done. You are deserving of reward.
But to be honest, the Allegans were already doing enough dark and sinister things. From all the research I've been doing, they did so much dark stuff at the end. Like, it's not even funny. Most of it's not even referenced in the game itself. Oh, I'm supposed to be over here. And then I'm at the sprite on steroids. Oh, okay, so that's it. I'll be perfectly honest, I learned nothing in here. Although, I do love the armor. The armor is probably one of the best things about this raid. It dies so well, in my opinion. already have a card. Already have it. Already have it. Already have it. Already have it. Do I have all the music? Balance, Radiance. Okay, I don't have Radiance. Okay. Ooh, nice roll. I already possessed that. I'll create that. Oh, thank you. I'll create that as well. No, I can't. I can only get one. Okay. Alright, well, I win this. Oh, I need to pass on this as well, don't I? Yeah, there we go. Who do I want? Oh, there's only one person. Well, there's two people for me to command. Yeah. And I didn't get that. Okay. I got two combinations though. Right, that's fine there. Alright, so part 2 of the storyline, where they come out just going, oh, we faked the whole thing. And my point, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, right? You went through all of that rigmarole and you're saying you made it up. Well, I'm not gonna curse. Alright, so we're finished there. Derek is all proud of himself walking alongside us. He did squat. It was me and 23 others who are no longer here that did everything. You're safe, thank the gods. I rushed here as soon as I can't wait for Krile to be a main focus at 7.0, you know? I really miss Krile. Oh, I smacked them down. Yes, I did. You defeated them all. Yes, I did, Graha. You had any doubt? I really want Graha's staff as well. I know we have similar weapons to that, but I really want that one as well. I'd say it'll be a Mog item. Seldom have I felt such exhilaration. I mean, imagine how good that line would have sounded. That laugh, that belly laugh, would have sounded with a voice actor. They really need to just... It wouldn't have taken much to just add a voice actor to that. I mean, granted, they have to pay them. Yeah, sure. But the impact would have been so worth it. Alright, here they are out. And there's Big Boy. What's the story? I don't like his eyes. His eyes are so pixelated. His eyes are just pixels. I don't like that close-up. They really shouldn't have done that close-up. His eyes are just like... His eyes are Minecraft eyes. To think that the day would come they would put on an act for men. I must say, Baragot, you played the villain's role to perfection. Come now, master. I like the fact that Ralgar is Baragot's master, but Ralgar is also the student to another. It pained me to speak of our beloved children so unkindly. You seemed happy enough to fight them. Yeah, you know, they all did. I just couldn't take them seriously at this point. I mean, Horror Model. Look at Horror Model. Like, Horror Model is very detailed. But I said this right after 6.1, after this all ended. This reveal came way too early. Had they just kept with the storyline of like, we tested you, right, we found yourself worthy, but this test is far from over. We have a purpose for you and this world. And then go on to just continue to do this weird, like, farce. It just felt it came way too early. Rest assured, we are not sowing beans. We do not drain the land of Aether, nor do we take men into our thrall. So you say. But we have zero reason to believe you at this point. They came out, threatened us with destruction, threatened to enslave our world, essentially, insulted our mother. We went in, fought them, defeated them, and they're like, oh, we're on good terms now. We have no reason to believe that. At all. Alright, and then the biggest lore revealed that it was not them being summoned at Cartonel. But they were impressed. She was impressed, rather, that we were able to actually just put our combined faith into summoning the power needed to avert calamity. But I find it even more interesting that they didn't lift a finger to defend Eorzea from that calamity. If you aren't primals, then what are you? Just shoot. Yeah, if you weren't... I've never asked them that before. If you aren't primals, what the hell are you? Come on, answer the bloody question. Look at them. That's not an answer. Just as men harbour hopes, so do we gods, to realise our aspirations. 'Tis essential that we do battle with you. Thus that I fancy kind who should rule the world. Why? 'Twas deceitful conduct unworthy of a divinity, and I must apologise. Not only for that, but for using my power to do harm besides. You don't use your power to help us, apparently, either. You just admitted you didn't help at Cartanau. I'm sorry, I get heated about this because this storyline annoys me. And they're being way too freaking coy about it. I know this is just to stretch the story out. It's a three-parter story, I get it. They need to stretch the narrative out, but... Exactly, they just dodged the question and just like... You'll understand why we hold our peace and far more besides. You will learn the very truth of our existence. Just tell us the truth of our existence. And seek knowledge of us. And then they send us out to learn more about them. Why? Just bloody tell us. You pale imitations. Yeah, scurry off. Go on. Off you pop. I don't think any storyline in FF14 had me more annoyed than this one. 6.3 better come through for us. If the 5 more of these bloody things turn up and start spouting the same dribble and not giving us a straight answer, I'm going to flip my lid. The next Alliance raid is 6.3. So it releases with the Alliance raid. So I'll be raiding that with my FC and I really can't wait. But just going on with this story. They send us out then to learn more about them. Fine. I mean, we have a million stories about every member of the 12. And then this scene happens which more than annoyed me. So we're looking around Ralgar's Reach in order to research who Ralgar was, essentially. Derek is still hanging around, of course. They have to keep an eye on us, obviously. So, yeah, it is tomorrow. Now, let's see here. Yeah, we're skipping over this. I want Ralgar to turn up. This chapter appears to be a record of the construction of the great image of Ralgar, written in a style that suggests the folklore was committed to parchment. When the deluge of the sixth umbral calamity threatened the Eorzea, the ancestors of the Alamegans were guided to safety by a comet. Fair. Believing that it was sent by Ralgar, they came to hold him in the highest. Okay. According to the scripture, among those refugees who followed the comet, some claim to have caught sight of Ralgar himself. This is going to be 6.3, isn't it? We fight them, we beat them, and then they're going to send us out to learn more about the ones that we encounter then, aren't they? We're going to be going to Limsa. I'd say Limsa is probably our stop after that, you know? The fact that she is probably going to turn up or something. We're the Ralgar Primal, and then it realizes he's freaking listening to us. That is, the statue gives rise to a unified interpretation of Ralgar's appearance. So, we have an idea of what he looks like, and whatever these things are pretending to be, are inspired by that, essentially, is what Graha is saying. It's interesting that the worship of the 12 actually existed in the Third Astral Era. So that means that likelihood is the Allegans, or some parts of Allegan society, may have actually worshipped them as well. Now, this is the part that annoys me. I thought we had made it clear. We are not summoned beings. And then they show up just going, why don't you believe us? We're not summoned primals. For the upteenth time, we have zero reason to believe you. And they show up in the animal form. So as soon as they did this, I was like, I knew it. The frickin' Oppo Wappo is one of them. Yeah, according to... Let me stop the text real quick. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Here we go. Iron Baragot and the half side is Roger. Yeah, okay. Yeah, when Midgardsormr landed on Eorzea, he entered a agreement and pact with Hydaelyn that he was able to put down roots, rest, and also begin his people once again on Aetheris. And he was given a place at Silvertear Lake in order to heal, because when he got to Aetheris, he was severely weakened from his journey. So even if Hydaelyn had said, no, you're not staying here, go away, the likelihood is he wouldn't even been able to leave. He was that weakened. So in that regard, she said, okay, I'll make a pact with you. You can have your kin spread throughout the entire world. She would have saw Midgardsormr as a valuable ally as well, and the Dragonkin in general. And she let him stay at Lake Silvertear to recover himself, essentially, bathed in the aether of that area. But apparently to guard something which is in or under Silvertear Lake, which we learned in 1.0 when it shattered, released primals. But that story is never really elaborated on in 2.0 and beyond. It was part of the 1.0 storyline, which never really got properly translated into 2.0. Okay, so back to these two. The fact that they had to show up, we just describe ourselves when we wish to observe the world without. For being seen in our true forms would violate our laws of conduct. Why didn't this apply to us? So you're violating now, you're interfering now for some reason that you won't tell us, that is apparently against your laws of conduct, yet apparently the situation is so dire that you needed to interfere, which violates your own laws. But they still won't tell us. So they harbour some sort of hope. As mortals harbour hope, so do gods, but they won't tell us why. What do mortals hope for? It's a very good question, actually. What does a mortal hope for in FF14? Long life, happiness, good food, children, a spouse, live a long life and then die in whatever way. They don't really have any hopes other than living and surviving, being happy. It's entirely possible that the primals were sealed there by Hydaelyn, or they may have been a remnant actually sealed there. That could have been, like, for example, a remnant of the ancient civilization. Those primals could have been summoned before the final days happened, for example. And they were actually sealed away because they were research specimens, for example. And then they got released. But the question is, were they actually there during the Allegan's reign as well? Because the Allegan's civilization was around Mordona, Thanalan, around Silvertear Lake. But they didn't apparently pay any attention to Silvertear Lake for some reason. Midgardsormr was asleep inside it. Apparently he didn't deem to wake up during that. At least we don't think he did. Tataru would be like, money! Yes, damn truth he is. Alright, back here. Okay. Yeah, we know the similar disguises are sanctums, veiling them in illusions, rents that are known to manifest when surrounding aether is unstable, aka when a calamity happens, their facilities show up. I'm calling them facilities because I'm not calling them realms. I refuse. Should a gifted mortal chance to be near, They may inadvertently catch sight of us. What is a gift, though, aside from the echo? So I'm going to assume they're talking about the echo. Yep, so it shows up. They get a glimpse. Okay, how many times we've been seeing, we ourselves would no way have known, but that is the sound assumption to make. The most a person would have seen in that case is during a calamity when all hell is breaking loose, the Aether is unstable, they look up, oh, there's something up there, and then it disappears like 10 seconds later. Fine. But what does that have to do with anything? People have more important things to worry about. I mean, I think the literal planet shook during the last calamity. The calamity of water, Eorzea got drowned. People had other things to worry about. Well, Baragot, I believe that much shall suffice by way of an apology for our deception. No, it bloody won't. You told us one thing and it had nothing to do with why you bloody fought us. And you think that's an actual apology. That is all we are at liberty to reveal. Very well. That's an interesting thing there. They're at liberty to reveal. So is there someone or something that is dictating what they can or can't say, or is it an agreement between the lot of them to say, we can say this much but no more? If anybody gets out of line and says something else, we'll cut your head off. This just doesn't make sense. It just annoys me. This whole storyline just peeves me. But it's the fact alone that they think we should just believe them outright. If anybody's watched Star Trek Picard Season 1, I'll quote the Admiral when she's talking to Picard. Pure fecking hubris. That's what these are. There's pure hubris going on with these bloody guys. They just think, oh, we're the 12. You're supposed to believe us. No, we're not. Alright, enough about that, because I can rant about them all day and they just annoy me so much. Now, here's where I really got suspicious of him. Just like, he potters around the table just like, I'm not getting involved, but I am involved. I'm trying not to blow my cover. I really like her design. I'm glad they got another Rogadin to jump into this. And look at see that detail there where the sugar cubes moved. That is such a nice detail. Like, the modeling that went into that cutscene is not to be understated. She put the cup down and the cubes moved around it. That is impressive stuff. Like, they innovate so much in these cutscenes. So rarely do I get to simply chat with colleagues. Yeah, sure. Everybody's a colleague here, except Eric. And me. Well. I really like her model. I really like it. The hairstyle, the glasses, the complexion. Oh, cube. The seventh and highest of the heavens, which rules over the remaining six, was right here in Mordona all along. Isn't it fitting, my friends? It's destiny. Oh, I got it out of line, didn't I? That's me when I talk about lore. I'm just like, yes. She's shying away now. Aw, she's so cute. I like her model. I really do. Still got the Minecraft eyes. I think it was just his model. I think they created his model as small. Then they blew it up in order to give him the proper proportions, and it's just eyes just pixelated as a result. Because his eyes appear to be part of his face model. He doesn't blink or anything else. Invested in the art and their research, it doesn't take much to stoke their oh, okay. Oh yeah, they're just talking amongst themselves. So we're not privy to this discussion. Then we have him. Having always travelled alone, I'm admittedly not too familiar with such a lively atmosphere, but I do not mislike it. I'm of two theories. Two theories on this. One, he's actually Altic. Or second, the Oppo Woppo is Altic. And he's influencing Derek in order to try and influence us. So he's either threatening him or influencing him or promising him something, which is why Derek is going along with this. Which is why he seems like he knows more than he should. And he's very calm about things. Of all the gods getting revealed and how they look, Nofika's artwork since 1.0 and are soon released could be interesting. Oh yeah, I discussed that in my last stream actually. Nofika is... she's very cute, I have to say. Like, if you look at her artwork is very cute. I mean, there's some nice artwork, and a lot of people have actually done good renditions of her as well. Unfortunately, none of her appearances from the new trailer are here. But she is nice. I mean, I love it. Very nice artwork. The new 12 that are coming in, though, I'm not particularly fond of. As Emma said, they cannot reveal who they are. We must discover for ourselves by moving forwards. I know it's annoying for you right now, but they don't have a choice by the sound of it. That's the thing. Why don't they have a choice? What is causing them not to have a choice? There's something that they need our help with. Something major enough they can't tell us what it is. But they need our help so much that they need to trick us in order to fight us. They needed us to prove our worth, essentially. So apparently, I think there's a fight ahead, definitely, because there's always going to be a fight. It's an alliance raid in the end. So we're going to be fighting somebody. The question is who? Is it a member of the 12 who's gone rogue that we're going to be fighting? Or something that's actually directly threatening the 12? If they even are the 12, or just auspices. I'm so skinny. I'm so skinny there. Ugh. By the way, the two of you arrived at the Sunken Temple rather quickly. Did something happen? I don't remember that. I don't remember what he's talking about. Wait. Alright, she's off to the annex. We're going to talk a bit. She's going to go back and research. Yeah, I'm going to cut this cutscene short because there's nothing really else to learn. The last thing I want to do in this is I want to go to Omphalos because I want to see the little minions again. Because they're all pattering about, doing their thing. Well, I want to see them just before I finish this. I was instantly suspicious of them when Ralger and Byragot showed up in minion form. That made me instantly suspicious of the minions that are pattering about the Omphalos at the moment. Where's the entrance again? Wait, where the hell is it? What, am I blind? I'm legit blind. Where the hell is it? Oh, there we go. I think that's what they're talking about. Yeah, I don't really remember that, to be honest. It was months ago, but I don't really remember what happened. Right, I'm going to take my best stab at pronouncing her name. Snogim. I'm going to call her Snogim. Although I'm putting a lot of H into that. So, Snowgem? Right, I'm just going to call her Snowgem. This place is truly amazing. An absolute boon for my research. What interesting tidbits I learn will be certain to share with everybody. Yes, please. Oh, and you may have noticed, but there are little critters around the place. Oh, I noticed. I expect they are vessels of the gods. Alas, they flee whenever I attempt to go near. Whenever she attempts to go near. They don't flee for us, though. Now, right, here's the question. Does the other shard know of the gods? Can the gods travel to the other shards? As far as we're aware, no, they don't. But we know very little about the religious practices of the other worlds. And the first, they kind of abandoned religion when everything just fell apart, so we don't really know much about their religious practices either. Alright, so in front of the Thunder entrance, we have Byragot standing here, or his minion avatar, and then you have Ralgar, who's flying out over here. They don't fly away from us or move away from us. So they're all just pettering about, doing their usual thing. And then you go over to the fire one. Now, as I recall, there was somebody hanging around here. There's a fish over there, but I think he has to do with the water one over there. So we have a fish here. So that could be, what's her name? Oh, what's her name? Oh, I can't remember. Damn it. I can never remember their names. Right, let me see here. So we got a fish there, and then there's an owl. Okay, an owlet is over here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. There was no fire one though, which is annoying me now. But there are just minions just puttering about, but they haven't explained exactly why these things are puttering about. So these are either avatars that the gods use, or whatever these things are on their whims in order to travel around inconspicuous. Or there's something else entirely. I think it's Menfina, yeah. I think that fish is Menfina. Then we have a golem, which is interesting enough. So this is the portal of Earth that's over there. And there was another one here, if I recall correctly. Now, I counted them all. There's not 12 of these things puttering around. The rabbit is cute. I like the rabbit. If I was going to guess, that's Nafika. In my opinion, that's Nafika. If that was going to be anything, it would be her. I love the little rabbit. Although I don't know exactly what this one is. Now, I've already counted these up, as is everybody else. There's 6 of them. So we open the first 2. Then it's likely that these 2 will probably open, or even these 2 over here. And then you have the central platform here, which is unexplained. And then you have this inactive... I'm still convinced it's an aetheryte. It's not moving around, but it's an aetheryte. I mean, look at it. The only designs we've ever seen look like that are aetherytes. We can't use it, we can't do anything with it, but I'm convinced that's what it is. The only thing that's really confusing at the moment is this frickin' platform. We don't know what it is, but we're assuming, or everybody's assuming, that's going to open up the moment that we finish the last fight, or part of a fight in 6.5. So we fight 2 more of these things, then the last 2 in 6.5, and then whatever this is opens up. I've stared at it, there's nothing really there. It's a lovely design, but it doesn't really mean that. This is just a void vacant area with no proper symbolism. Essentially that's it. That's all we have to go by. There's a few minions pottering about. Wait, hang on a second. Something I'm thinking about now. In the reveal trailer, we saw 5 new members of the 12. So I think it's a foregone conclusion we're not going to fight them all. We'll fight 4 of them at least, unless 2 of them are going to be fought together. Which is my theory, that 2 of them are actually going to be in the same fight. So there's 1, 2, the rabbit, the golem. It's entirely possible that it is like the near raid when we get to travel. Now, there's only... discounting Byrigot and Ralgar, who are podding about over there. There's 4 other minions. Do these minions line up with the other 4 members of the 12? Hang on. The 12. Let me look up their image real quick. 14. Okay. Okay, let's see here real quick. No, that's not the image I wanted. That. Okay. Okay. All right. So the order that we got them in is we fought Byrigot, we fought Ralgar, we fought Azema, we fought Naldal. So the order we were assuming everything else would go in next would be Nofika, Altic, Halone, and Menfina. Although we did see 5 members of the 12 that we'd never seen before. One of them was, if I recall, Nimia. Or Nemia. So Nemia was also present when we saw her in the 6.3 trailer. Now, I'm wondering if these minions that we're actually seeing puttering about, and there are 4 of them, actually correspond to the members of the 12 that are coming up. So Nofika the Matron is... she's the daughter of Azema, which is interesting. The younger sister of Limion. She's most often depicted as a jubilant farmer holding a scythe of steel. Okay. Her symbol is the spring leaf. So there's nothing really to trace her to one of those minions, for example. But then again, you wouldn't have assumed Byrigot was a Spriggan and Ralgar was a hawk, other than the fact that we saw Ralgar with a hawk in the raid, but we didn't see Byrigot messing around with a Spriggan. So, but it's entirely possible that the 4 remaining, because these 2 are earth, and what elements are these again? Oh, the elements of, yeah, so these 2 are ice, these 2 are earth. So do the other minions correspond to that? So we have the golem, we have the rabbit, which could correspond to earth, I guess. And then you have the owl and you have the fish. So it is entirely possible that these 4 minions that showed up next to the 2 we've already identified are actually representations of 4 of the actual members of the 12 that we're going to see. Now, as far as I'm aware, there is no other minions pottering about this area, aside from those 2. Unless I'm mistaken, unless I've missed one. But I'm fairly positive I haven't missed one. But we know now that ice and earth are going to be the next 2 elements to open up. So we've already seen thunder. We saw fire. That's a deep blue, so that's either ice or water. And then you have green, and then you have... does this thing even have a color? What color is it? Oh, I'll come back to that one. And then you have this. What color is that? Apologies, I'm colorblind, so my colorblind abilities is not the best. So, thunder, fire, earth, ice, water, wind. So, that's blue. If I was going to be a betting person, I'd say that ice and earth are these 2 here. Although they're in the wrong order. Because these 2 went like that. And they're lit up, as you can see. Who was it that cried a river that made silver tier? Wait, is that one of the gods that actually did that? If I was going to assume, it would be one of these 2. I don't remember hearing that legend. Okay. Alright, back to what I was saying here. What color is this one? It's facing backwards. So that's green. This is... Shadow is not helping my vision. But if I was going to be a betting person, I would have said that was wind. Alright, so I think it's going to be this one and this one are going to open next. And then in 6.5, it's going to be this one and this one. And for all of my looking around, I have not seen another minion that corresponds to one of these things. Minion, 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 no minion. Alright, so I guess I'll just close off by just watching where... As I said, this view is probably one of my favorites because we're able to see a lot more of this land. But there is a mountain range in between us and the Crystal Tower. And then further on is Lake Silvertear, which is over here. But you can't see... You can see the tower, sure. But we can't see the Agrius and Midgard Sormer from here. And they're very tall as well. They're not as tall as the Crystal Tower. Granted. And then there's Cartano, which is over here. So we see two main landmarks, so Lake Silvertear should be over here. But I think it's just obscured by this mountain here. So they are close to where Mordona is, but they're still a great distance away. Like, that's not a short flight. But it is cool that we can see Cartano and Mordona from here, which is interesting. So it shows that they were very close to where the calamity actually, the epicenter of the calamity took place. It makes me wonder if, like, they said they had no hand in it. I don't believe them. Shrouded or not, I think this place would have been affected. And it is just a floating island in the end. But anyway, that's everything regarding this patch, or regarding what I wanted to talk about. I don't know. I think it's entirely possible that these 4 minions correspond to the 4... I'm still going to call them auspices that we're going to fight. But there's nothing else around here that we need to look at, and nothing else we need to look over. So I think I'm happy with everything, but I think I just want to watch the trailer once more before we leave it. So let me just quickly open the trailer, because I just want to see it again. We should get the full patch notes tomorrow as well, because I have a few extra things to actually point out. I pointed this out on my stream before, but there's a few things I want to point out about this trailer. So let's quickly start this up. MSL mentioned something about the true identity of the 12. Yeah, that's exactly what started us on this journey. The true identity of the 12. And most people assumed, like you are, Matt, that they were in fact either ancients or something to do with the Ascians. It's entirely possible they are ancients, were ancients. They could have been sealed away. They could have been in stasis. They could have been anything. But they're being very coy about it. And I don't think Hydaelyn would have allowed them to just potter about like that without telling us. So let's watch this trailer again.
At last, the time has come.
Yeah, I love the fact that the 2 moons are still here, though, because she is the goddess of the twin moons. And then this scene, which set off my entire speculation, is coming up.
Long have I awaited this moment.
Bear to me your lover's heart.
I really don't like her model. Like, as I said with my last stream, there are 5 members of the 12 here. So we have the first 4, and the one that's standing out, who is separated from the others, is... Wait, where the hell is it? Where is the image? There we go. Nemia is the one that stands out. So she's actually in that image, but we would have assumed that we were only seeing these 4, but then she suddenly shows up, which is interesting. But I'm still not fully 100% happy with Menfina's model. I mean, it's cute, sure, but she just looks like a doll more than anything else. And they all have dead eyes, granted, but she's just very doll-like.
Have you the strength to defy fate?
Yes, we do have the strength to defy
I,
fate.
the Fury, shall test your strength of spirit.
So this is the heaven on earth that we're going to be fighting in.
My friends.
Our favorite twins. I can't wait for this area because it looks so good.
But enough about events here. What brings you to us? And with new company besides. The 13th. I thought you'd keep your escapades closer to home for a while.
So did we.
Oh, I've been waiting so long. Don't disappoint.
Yeah, so the voice lines that we're hearing throughout the entire patch, or throughout the entire trailer, rather, are the voice lines that we're going to be hearing in the fights that are coming up. So the person talking there, who we just heard, is most likely, where the hell is he? Altic. So that's likely Altic that we're actually hearing at this point. Then the Eureka, which I can't wait for. Kalia.
How big must the gate be for their light to come through?
The fake Dalamont.
Too weak. Help me. Someone.
I think what we're hearing there as well, my theory is, because I thought these lines were actually directly tied to Zero being weakened, like knelt in the snow and then she passes out. But I think what we're actually hearing is an echo. So we have an echo experience with her, and we're looking through her eyes when she was trapped outside of the void and she was kind of just drifting through the rift and not able to get back home. So she's like, I'm getting weak, help me, help me. Because she sounds much more childish, should I say. She's a very, she's a very different person.
He's calling.
The fact that he's calling, though, I'm still unsure exactly who he's calling. There's only a couple of things he could actually be doing at this point. The first is calling Azdaia. But we know Azdaia is in stasis and she's on a different world, so it doesn't really make sense to be calling her. The only other explanation I have, in my opinion, is for him to be calling his siblings to come and aid him. Because, yeah, granted, Vitra has a connection to Azdaia more than the others, sure. But he's not the only brother or sister he has. He has a brother and sister that are still out there, and they would have just as much of a connection and right to help out as Vitra would. So I would love if that actually came to be and Tiamat and Reishvalgar actually helped out with this, because I think they really should be taking front stage on this as well to help out. She looks so good.
What have you done to Azdaia?
There's your man.
The world will never be ours again. So we need not suffer in this purgatory of death and rebirth forever.
A deluge of ether. The mark of a terrible magic.
Hello, Nate.
Join me, and together we shall seek the promised land, a glorious kingdom of light, wherein all may know death's sweet embrace.
A great trailer. But yeah, that's everything I just wanted to go through on the stream. I just wanted to have a discussion regarding a number of these topics. Also get everybody refreshed on what we're going to expect and some of the other elements that we can actually just hope to experience in patch 6.3. And I'm hoping it works out the way I hope. Well, the way I think it works out, I hope it works out that way. Although I don't think so. Because don't forget, we still have one more patch after that, 6.5, which ties it all together. So we're going to be left with another cliffhanger in the middle. So we're not going to know their true purpose in the end. We'll get a lot of clues to it, so we might be able to speculate, but that's about it. But anyway, thank you all for joining me today. And yeah, essentially, get a good rest, and don't forget to download the patch first thing in the morning, because yeah, essentially everything's going to get bombarded like it always does. And also, I'd highly recommend turning off your Discord notifications, because some people don't know when to be quiet. I've noticed every FF14 Discord I'm a member of today is doing posts just going, spoiler alert, don't do spoilers, don't do spoilers. But there's always that one person who will just let it slip. They just go, oh my god, this happened. And you're like, shut up. I don't want that to happen to me. I don't want it to happen to you. I don't want it to happen to anybody. So, anyway, I'll call it there. And in terms of my next video, I have an idea what I want it to be. I did have a completely different video planned before 6.3 was announced, but now that it involves the Allegan Empire, which is what my video was actually based on, I'm putting it off until we learn more about Eureka and everything else that's down there as well. But I do have an idea for something else I was going to go into, so look forward to that. But anyway, everybody have a good night, and thank you very much.